USCHO.com. This is the USCHO Spotlight, a weekly podcast from U.S. College Hockey Online at USCHO.com, featuring conversations with college hockey coaches and players and journalists who cover the sport.
Welcome to USCHO Spotlight for Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. I'm Ed Trefzger alongside Jim Connelly. You know, Jim, everybody loves an underdog, and a team that has found itself as an underdog, even trying to maintain its existence, in fact, for a couple of times, is University of Alabama, Huntsville. The Chargers last spring found out their program was on the chopping board, and a great effort by alumni and fans got the program restored. And this weekend, a nice milestone for the team.
And joining us on this week's USCHO Spotlight, the head coach, first-year head coach at his alma mater, the University of Alabama, Huntsville. That's Lance West. Lance, first off, congratulations. Your first victories, not one but two this weekend behind the bench for the Chargers. And welcome to the show. We've never had you as a guest before, so it's great to talk to you.
No, Jim, Ed, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. No, I haven't. And, it's nice for us to get on there. I appreciate the time and look forward to chatting with you.
So take us through Friday night, your game against Ferris State. Late in the game, you're trailing by a goal. You pop the equalizer late, then you score in overtime. It's the first win of the season for your team. What was the game like, and then maybe some of the emotions that probably went around that locker room afterwards?
Yeah, the game, it was a great game. It was fun to watch, fun to be a part of. I think for the fans, too, that have been so committed to us and helping us, restore our program and continue the fight for hockey down here in college hockey. And so it was just a great night for all of them and everybody, the alumni who's done the work. Like I told the guys in the game, that was a program win. And then you talk about a program win, it was from the fans, the administration, to the alumni, and players and coaches and everybody, because so many people have done so much work in the last little while just to get this program going again and building to where we want to be. So there was so much energy and excitement. It was a really good hockey game. I don't know if you could write a script, as they say, better than that, scoring with 2.5 seconds left and then getting the power play in OT. So, it was a great atmosphere. We were allowed a certain number of fans, so that was nice too in today's environment. As someone was joking, we're leading the country in attendance right now. So we all took a little bit of a laugh about that one too. But it was a lot of fun. I think the emotions after, the guys trusted the players to see them celebrate. I mean, these are kids that when we brought them in, 13 of them so late with everything that went on, that, it was an honest process. This is what it's about, and come in and prove yourself and prove all the doubters wrong. And just, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a hard challenge. A lot of kids are willing to take that challenge on with us, and they've done that and worked hard. So just a reward for them finally to get that first win and see the excitement in them is why we do this.
To clarify for our listeners, I feel like people that listen to our podcast are pretty diehard college hockey fans, but your program this season, off season, was in dire straits. It was canceled by your administration. The alumni really rallied around your program. Even fans of the program rallied around, raised a lot of money. But in that time that it seemed like things were in flux, a lot of players transferred out. And, so you talk about a lot of new faces. That has to be one of the most challenging parts. And you as a first-year head coach to have to really approach. How has that process gone? And you used the word being very honest with the players. How has that whole process really impacted this team?
I think the process, the guys that stayed and were here just committed for whatever reasons, and personal and professional, and they agreed to stay and just be committed to helping rebuild the program. And so that's the foundation right there. And then when we went out in recruiting, like I said, it was a difficult process. It's hard to put that number of guys together in 2 months. It's a credit to everybody who was part of it that helped build it, and to the players. And, I think just saying, hey, this is what it is. This is our challenge. Who wants it? Who wants to be part of it? Who wants to show everybody? And it's helped for the standpoint of, the motivation, how hard they've worked, the camaraderie, bringing them together. Actually, I just think the whole environment in today's world has brought them together. That's right now all they have is each other. They spend so much time together. talk about the process they all went through, what our program's going through, and where we're headed, and how these are the guys that are going to be that set the foundation for the future of our program. And, that's really the energy that we've built off of, and those guys have bought in. And you say buy-in, it starts with our older guys, and the younger guys have all done it. And, we have a long way to go. We talk about it every day. Yeah, it's a step, it's a process. We're excited, but we have to move on from where that is because we still have a long way to go.
You had that win on Friday, then Saturday, your second home game of the year, a 2-0 shutout, and David Fessenden in the net for that. I believe it was 42 saves he made in that game. I know that, I believe it was him last year that I saw play. I called a game when he was in net at Lowell, and I think he had almost 40 saves in that game. He seems to be a guy that is good at stopping the puck, but what does he bring to your net when he's playing well?
Yeah, you know what? When he's playing well, he's a big kid. And when he's playing well, he's calm. When he's calm and he's letting the puck come to him, I guess in a way, I'm not a goalie guy, but when I see that calmness and he's making the big saves, puck find him, that just calms our team down. Gives you that confidence to know you have that guy back there. If you do things the right way, maybe you give out the shot from the perimeter instead of the inside, and you play the game connected and together and doing all the right things. You have a guy back there that's going to do it for you. It just builds confidence in the way you make plays. I've always said that guys are more comfortable in making the right play, not worried about making the play. And he's giving us a chance every game, and you can build off of that. So, he's making a big step. Carmine Guerrero came in this year. We actually had a goalie guy, which was really nice, and they've built a good relationship and done a good job. So, it was great to see for him. Because he has worked so hard, and it was tough. The first game of the year, he had a shutout going and got injured going onto the ice in the third period. So it hasn't been an easy battle for him, and it was great to see him get rewarded because he probably stole that one for us Saturday.
When you mention goaltenders, it makes me think of some of the greats that you've had over the years at Alabama Huntsville. Cam Talbot helping to get things going during the summer to help save the program, but even bigger than that, there is quite a legacy at Alabama Huntsville. College hockey, especially Power when Division II hockey was around. How big is that legacy, and how big has that been in keeping some momentum with the program? Do the players understand about that? And certainly I know the alumni do.
Yeah, I mean, the alumni and, is the number one reason we're still here. I mean, every time we seem to have an administration change, there's been a bit of a battle. We have to get over that and get past that hump and get everyone's trust back in college hockey in our community that we're in here for the long term. And the alumni are the guys that drove that with the financial contributions and showing the long-term financial stability and then moving forward. So, the legacy is important, and it's been huge. I mean, I talk a lot. You're talking 40 plus years in college hockey in the South with not a lot of other schools coming down and joining us and us fighting and battling to be part of college hockey. But, the reality is it's not about being part of college hockey. We have to be a valued member of college hockey. And that's our focus as alumni, staff, and the program to take us to that level. I don't think people just are excited when you say you want to be part of it. We have to be a valued part of it and bring more to it, and that's what we're focused on doing this year.
One part of being a valued part of it is finding a league home, and I know that there's been a lot of work going on, and you talk to people around college hockey, a lot of people are pulling for the Chargers to find a good place to land. Do you have any update on how things are going with that direction to find a new league home for the next season?
Yeah, we put a process in place of the financial stability, which, we've had some big donations and, they've announced roughly around $8.5 million, dollars over the next 10 years. And I mean, we've raised, and I can't give you the exact number, close to 10 since, we resurfaced. That's a big contribution on top of the commitment the president has made to doing it. So that's there. And that was step one, and step two is the league. But again, that is us putting our best foot forward, doing everything the right way. And we're doing that. We're putting our presentation together and submitting it, and we have to, like I said, we want to be a valued member, not part of it. We're going to do everything right. It's a great place. It's great history down here. I think college hockey needs it. I think there's a place for us in college hockey. I know there is, and it's just a matter of us finding that fit and showing them the value we bring and everything that is down here. And, we have the NHL teams pulling for us and working with us and college hockey and everybody else. And, you know what, we're going to continue to fight and do the right things and show how great it is to have a program. Actually, I don't really want to put an update on the leagues. I mean, everyone knows the two leagues that we're, pretty well going after, and, unfair to put them in spots when I don't have set answers. But you know what? We're just doing the things that we feel we have to do with the financial stability, future, arena plans, trying to get plans, get in the league first, have a time frame, and do all that. And you know what? The thing is, we just don't have as much time as some schools probably do. But we are working hard, and I believe we're going to get there.
More with Lance West in a moment.
This is the USCHO Spotlight, a weekly podcast from US College Hockey Online.
We're back with Alabama Huntsville head coach Lance West. Yeah, you mentioned the new arena, and you've been playing for years in what is a really nice facility downtown at the Von Braun Arena. I think as I went through, I think I've been there 4 different times. That has a good atmosphere, and I know you've been working with the Huntsville Havoc on trying to build some buzz around the program there. What's going on in those lines?
Yeah, it's a great facility. We've been there for a long time. The city of Huntsville is a fantastic place to live and go, and it's growing a lot. And, you got the pro team and us, and they have a lot of events at the facility, but it's a first-class facility. They're also doing upgrades underneath right now where they're going to redo all the entertainment venues, suites. They're putting 4 locker rooms in, so they're a place that has this. It's a great place. Not necessarily that it's not a good place for us to play. I think it's just that, as a program, we want to make sure long-term down the road that maybe an on-campus or near-campus facility is something that could help take our program to a higher level. But playing in the VBC is a great setup. They've been good to us for 40 years, and we'll continue to do that for now. As
you're recruiting for the program, besides what you can offer potential student athletes from a hockey experience, what does Alabama Huntsville as a university offer somebody who's looking at it as a place they might want to go play and attend?
Well, it's an outstanding university academically. The engineering program is fantastic. The aerospace engineering, the research is one of the, I think, top 5 to 7, don't know exact, funded universities by NASA at one time, and does a great job in the business school and engineering programs to tie them together for kids that have opportunities to, do internships and work with a lot of the big firms. They have 3rd largest technology role here now, and there's just so many outstanding teachers, faculty. And when you leave here, I know it's one of the highest performing, I guess the word I'm looking for is pay scale, and job placement is one of the highest in the state. So just offers so much outside of hockey. The town itself, it's growing and growing. And I can't even remember the number of dollars they're putting into facilities in the city. And I think it was ranked at one time 7 or 8 by USA Today as places to live in the United States. And you know what? It's just where my family's from. It's a wonderful place to live, grow family, and go to school. And I can't tell you the stories of the fun I had when I was down here. And I know the kids that come down enjoy it.
This weekend, it is back to the road for your team. You started out with 6 games on the road. You finally got the two home games, but it'll be 2 more. This is a long trip. Bemidji State this weekend. You were part of Alaska Fairbanks' program for a long time, and now you're at Huntsville. Road trips are part of who you become at those schools. Is it one of those things when you have to look for players, you kind of have to find guys that will embrace some long trips, some longer bus rides, and those sorts of things?
Yeah, I don't know necessarily. We recruit the kids that fit what we want as a culture, as a player, academically, socially, all those factors and what we look for first. I think they learn what the travel is. That's probably more of their process and if it's the right fit or not the right fit for them. But we don't focus on that. It's part of hockey in a lot of places. It's a little bit more for us. It was a lot more for me when I was in Alaska, and it never seemed to bother the kids. It's, their flights versus bus trips sometimes, and you know what, a little shorter, but he just becomes part of it, and you find the kids that fit your program first and foremost, and the travel is just something they learn to deal with.
What about this Bemidji State team? What do you know about them? Obviously, they're coming off 2 very tight games with a good Bowling Green team, including an overtime win on Friday night. What do you know about this Bemidji State club?
Well, I've known Coach Sartori for a long time from the CHA days, and I know his team's how hard they work. I do know they're a really good team this year. They're going to be one of the toughest teams we see all year. A lot of pace. I really like their top 6, 7, 8 forwards can really get after it up there. I think they're one of the teams that puts a lot of puck pressure on more than most. And we're going to have to prepare to play with a fast pace and simple, efficient game and move pucks because they're going to be on you. It's going to be difficult. It's one of our arch rivals from way back in the day and all the national championships in D2, and it doesn't matter. That carries over. I don't think the Beavers were ever too fond of us when we came to town. It was kind of the same way that the Beavers came here, So it's a fun rivalry for us, but it's going to be a huge challenge. That's a really good hockey team there with a lot of talent up front and great coaching.
Well, it will be another classic rivalry series between your two clubs. Begins this Friday up in Bemidji. Lance West, congratulations again getting your first 2 wins as the head coach at your alma mater, University of Alabama, Huntsville. We'll be watching your team from afar, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk again soon this season.
All right, thank you, Jim. I appreciate the time, guys. All the best to you.
That's Alabama Huntsville head coach Lance West. Jim, you can hear the excitement and also somebody who's up to a challenge when you talk to Lance West about his team.
Yeah, you know what? When I look at the big picture of Alabama Huntsville and the struggles that they've been through and what they continue to go through, they're going to need a league. We know that part. They're still, trying to raise enough money to make sure that this program has some perpetuity to it. If you're going to have a face of a program to do that, and not that any of the predecessors, aren't qualified. Trust me, there's been some great coaches that have gone through that program. But you might as well have an alum who was there during the good days of Division II, some of the great days of Division II, had some success, got some good coaching experience up at Alaska Fairbanks to come back in and try to help lead this team, not just on the ice, because that is obviously a challenge that every coach goes through, but it's the off-ice challenge, I think, that Lance West and Alabama Huntsville is facing with finding a league, with raising the funds, with getting a building. All of that stuff is moving in the right direction. I think he's a positive force on all of this.
And getting 13 recruits into the program for this year on a very late schedule is pretty remarkable. Everybody's talked about what Brett Riley has done and done understandably well at Long Island University to put together a first-year program. But Lance had to find some players to replace some, even some that got their way up to Long Island University. He had to pull that together, and he's been able to put together a competitive team on the ice. That's pretty remarkable in itself.
I couldn't agree more. When you really look at this, and it's the same problem that we're talking about with maybe some of the Ivy League schools. They've lost some players because they didn't play this season. And it felt like with Alabama Huntsville, some good players, some of their best players darted the second that there seemed to be any doubt with what was going to happen, and had made, commitments and confirmations to leave, to transfer, go to other schools. Then the program gets saved, a few weeks later, and now you're without a lot of your talent. So what a challenge when you're taking over as the head coach. And don't forget that, their coach, Mike Corbett, also left and headed up to Robert Morris. And so it was a strange challenge. Not a lot of coaches have faced that. Now, as I said, I do feel like a lot of other schools, especially the Ivies that didn't play this year, will face similar issues with players that transferred out. But it's a weird place that we are in general in college sports and recruiting. This is another hurdle. We've seen a team, now in Lance West, and he's going to have this challenge for a few years to try to replace and make sure you fill holes. This is going to go on across a lot of college hockey for the next few seasons. Well,
the Chargers have picked up a lot of people rooting for them all around college hockey, and we certainly do wish them continued success as we really want to see Division I men's hockey grow. For Jim Connelly, I'm Ed Trefzger, and we'll catch you next time.
This has been the USCHO Spotlight, a production of U.S. College Hockey Online. Visit uscho.com/podcasts to listen or subscribe.